If you own a home in Jupiter, Florida, there's a massive development project currently fighting its way through town council that is going to fundamentally change your property values in our market. And almost no one is talking about the equity impact. They're simply only talking about the project itself. There's a $68 million private school campus about to be dropped right in the middle of Jupiter. So if you live in the Kennedy Estates, the Shores, Rialto, or anywhere near the corner of Indiantown Road and I-95, you're about to deal with either a massive traffic impact or a massive spike in property value, or both. My name is Kyle Camerlinck with Tater Realty. I run a real estate brokerage here in Jupiter, Florida, focused on high-end residential and commercial deals. Today I wanted to break down the project that's happening, the school that's going to be built here near I-95 and Indiantown Road, and what that means for your property values here in Jupiter, Florida. So let's take a minute and look at exactly what is being proposed. Jupiter Christian is proposing a legacy project, a $68 million project sitting on 38 acres. If you check out the renderings of this project, it looks like a small college campus is going to be so large. It's designed to hold around 1,200 middle school and high school students, and it's not just a small neighborhood addition. This major footprint is going to have teacher and student housing, aquatic centers, massive academic buildings, and the target for this opening is late 2028 or 2029 school year. I know it sounds like a long way off, but I think it's going to be here before most of us even realize. Let's look at why this is happening now. The answer is simply demand. South Florida recently expanded its school voucher program, which has driven private school enrollment through the roof statewide. Jupiter Christian School currently has about 1,100 students enrolled across their existing campuses, and there's also a massive number that's actually already on the wait list, and they can't even get their schools in. I used to go to Jupiter Christian School. I actually graduated from there. I have friends and alumni that have kids now, and they can't even get past the wait list. They can't even get in as alumni. So they're simply proposing this new campus in order to get more students in their doors and be able to accompany more people. So the question is, where in the world are they going to fit a campus of this size and of this magnitude? And that's the real issue right now. That's what's causing all the drama with the neighbors, with the people in the town. No one wants to be a part and have to face the traffic of a massive school like this. But as far as where it's going to be proposed, if you look at the map, they're putting it on the southeast corner of Indiantown Road and I-95. This is one of the last large undeveloped parcels of land left in Jupiter, and it sits right at the gateway to our town. For years, this corridor has been mostly industrial and vacant land. Putting a premier private school right at the exit of I-95 is a strategic move. It makes it incredibly accessible for families, communities of Palm Beach Gardens, Jupiter, Palm Beach, just anywhere where these other private schools have wait lists. They're going to be able to draw the demographics from all over South Florida into this school because of its proximity to I-95. When a private school campus has that many families on the wait list, it's not a question of when they're going to build the campus, it's more of a question of where. They're going to want this money in their pockets, and they're going to want to fulfill and teach as many students as they possibly can. And if that's their way of doing it, then they're going to build this massive campus, whether the neighbors like it or not. So is this a done deal? Officially, no. Practically, yes. Here's the timeline. They announced the site back in September of 2025, and by March of 2026, the full $68 million proposal went public. So is this project officially approved? No, but practically yes. Jupiter Christian announced the school back in September of 2025. By March of 2026, the full $68 million proposal went public. In April, the Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval with a 5-to-1 vote, but then we hit a roadblock. On April 29th, the town of Jupiter's council delayed the final vote. Why? Because they were fighting over road costs. Specifically, the extension of Island Way. The town wants a school to foot the bill for infrastructure upgrades, and the school is pushing back. Right now, we are awaiting final permits and that ultimate town council approval. But listen to me, the momentum is still there, the capital is there, the demand is there, the question of not of when, but of if. And they have the money, they have the capital set aside, but if they can save some money by having the school or the town front the bill, then they're going to do that. But I think it's going to happen either way, no matter which way that vote falls. So I want to address the traffic concerns that many residents are facing and worried about right now. This is the elephant in the room. Everyone that's against development, one of the main reasons is because of all the traffic that it causes and the inconvenience that it can cause to their routes. You cannot put 1,200 students on that corner without creating hundreds of daily drop-offs and pickups on Indiantown Road. Town staff has already been flagged severe traffic concerns during the morning rush hour. If you live in Kennedy Estates, you have been fighting the Island Way extension for a decade, and now this campus threatens to bring that traffic right to your front door. Plus, we are looking at years of heavy construction. There's going to be noise, dust, disruption. If you are a seller in immediate vicinity during the construction phase, it is going to be a hurdle we have to overcome with buyers. Not to mention Kennedy Estates, the one that's going to have the most downside effects, at least in the immediate term. But also we have all the businesses around Jupiter Park Drive that they're debating making another access or exit to. So right now we're actually expanding Jupiter Park Drive, adding an additional lane. I know my office is right off Jupiter Park Drive, so this is going to add additional traffic for me. And exiting Jupiter Park Drive is always difficult around that 5 o'clock time. But I think with most of the students probably getting out around 2:33, this shouldn't be an issue. Plus the extra lane that's opening up, this may address the problem completely, but we'll see what happens. So I know the traffic's a major concern for a lot of people, especially those living in Kennedy Estates and the surrounding area. However, I wanted to address the positive of this and really look into the data and see what it shows for private schools going into a neighboring community and what it does for property values once that project is complete. So while there definitely is a downside with the traffic, the reality is luxury real estate near top-tier private schools always equals premium pricing, period, across the country and specifically in South Florida, shows that homes near prestigious private schools command 10 to 30% premiums over comparable homes that are further away. Why? Because wealthy buyers pay for convenience. A 5-minute drive to morning drop-off is worth hundreds of thousands of dollars to a high net worth family. Remember that wait list? It's over 700 families. That is 700 households actively trying to get their kids into this school. And when this campus opens, a massive chunk of those families are going to target the neighborhoods immediately surrounding it. So they don't have to sit in that I-95 traffic. So let's face it, even though these luxury owners and wealthy individuals don't have to send their kids to private school, especially here in Jupiter where all of our schools are A-class, some of the top-ranked schools in the entire state, they're still going to send their kids there. They like having the kids in the private school. They like being able to sort of control, especially in this scenario with it being a Christian school, what they're taught, what their kids are surrounded by, and the students that are going to be surrounded by them. They're going to choose the private school every single time. So with this school going in, I think it's going to attract a lot of luxury buyers, a lot of people that are going to want to be close to school, have the proximity, and like I said before, they're going to want to save time and money, and they'll pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to do that because they're worth significantly more and worth significantly more than most individuals. So which neighbors are going to benefit the most? Kennedy Estates is literally in the neighborhood of where this school is going to be built. So I think Kennedy Estates is going to see a big equity bump, may even see some redevelopment in there or some additional renovations to increase the equity in the class of the neighborhood even more. They also have ultimate convenience. The kids will be able to walk to school there. Other neighborhoods that are very close that will likely see a large equity bump is the Shores, Limestone Creek are perfectly positioned. The Jupiter Country Club corridor becomes incredibly attractive, being its proximity to I-95 and the ultra-luxury buyer who wants the club lifestyle within 5 minutes of a great school. Families moving near Jupiter will draw a circle around the new campus and say, find me a house inside this line. I want to be near Jupiter Christian School so that my kids can have proximity. Also, you need to look at the bigger picture here. This isn't just about one school. Right next door is a 60-acre Beacon Park parcel. Devasta Homes is already proposing single-family homes there. It's in the video I talked about last week if you want to see more about that development. But there's a lot of new development coming in this Indiantown I-95 corridor that is transforming from industrial warehouse to a high-end residential and educational hub. The gateway to Jupiter is being rebuilt from the ground up. The dirt is changing over and over, and the values are going to follow. Look, an algorithm like Zillow cannot price in a $68 million campus going in a mile from your driveway. It just doesn't work that way. Zillow doesn't know about the 700 family waitlist that Jupiter Christian have. and it doesn't know the value of having a 5-minute commute to a private school. If you own a home in this corridor and you want to know exactly how this development impacts your specific property value today, click the link in the description or go to kylecamerlinck.com/home value. Book a quick call with me. I'll give you a real human valuation based on what's actually happening in our market, not what a computer guesses on. So while there may be an inconvenience in the Kennedy Estates while this construction is going on, if you plan to hold long term, don't panic sell because of the traffic fears. The demand is going to come to your neighborhood over time, and once this campus is done being built, your equity is going to grow significantly. And if you are planning to sell in the next 12 to 24 months, your agent needs to be able to understand and market the fact that 2028, this campus is opening to buyers, and they need to be able to cater their marketing to that and to the families and the younger families who are going to send their kids to this school. If you want to get a real read on your property value now before the broader market fully prices this in, just give me a call. My number is 561-371-5143. And if you'd like to stay up to date on everything that's happening in the Jupiter, Florida market, just subscribe to my page. I post weekly. Thanks for watching.